Grammar Review Section 2. So the first one we are going to discuss about adverb clauses. Adverb clauses actually functioned as adverb in the complete sentence. So here we can see the example sentence here. She shops because it makes her feel good. So the adverb clause starts with because it makes her feel good. So because is a little bit like subordinary conjunction to combine the two parts, two clauses together. She shops. In English, we actually say this is an independent clause, which means it can't exist by itself and it has meaning, like she shop. However, the adverb clause, because it makes her feel good, this we call dependent clause. With this part, this adverb clause, it cannot exist by itself. It must go together with another part of the sentence. It must go together with an independent sentence, independent clause. Okay, the second sentence here, although I sometimes buy things I don't need, I am not a shopping addict. Okay, so although bring out the meaning like it's opposite with the second part of the sentence. So here it's showing the opposite meaning, and then the adverb clause in this example sentence we would say it starts with although I sometimes buy things I don't need. So this is a dependent clause. It must go together with an independent clause. It cannot exist by itself. The sentence number 3, because shopping is necessary, shopping addicts aren't easily recognized. So because here it gives the reason. Some people will use since. Because and since are pretty similar. Okay, so both are give reasons. So we will say here the adverb clause is because shopping is necessary. So this is a dependent clause. It must go together with another independent clause. Okay, so the next sentence I share with you here is while she was at the mall, she bought many useless things. So while something happened at the same time, she bought many useless things. So in this sentence, explain like two things, two situations together. So while she was at the mall in this situation, she bought many useless things. So you can say she bought many useless things. This is an independent clause, so it can exist by yourself. However, while she was at the mall, this is an adverb clause. It must go with another independent clause together and make it meaningful. Okay, so when we read adverb clauses, or if in your English writing you want to write an adverb clauses with because, while, although, make sure you have an independent clause after or before that. Okay, so second clauses here I'm going to introduce with you is adjective clauses. Some people call it relative clauses. Okay, usually these clauses is used to describe the subject, the noun, or it can describe the object. So we are going to use some relative pronouns, including who, which, and that, to replace the same noun. It shows up like twice in the sentence. So you are going to use who as a relative pronoun to replace the subject as a person, and you are going to use which to replace the subject as something or an item. Okay, and that can be used for either situation or both. So let's look at the example sentence here. As a relative clause, it can be used to replace the subject. It also can be used to replace the object. Let's look at the subject first. So in a subject relative clause, the relative pronoun is used is the subject of the clause. So here, the example sentence I gave you, I go to the gym. The gym creates its own electricity. So here are two simple sentences. However, in these two simple sentences, we discuss the same noun, which is the same thing is a gym. So we can combine these two simple sentences becomes one sentence. How can you combine this? We don't use the conjunction word here. We want to make it more fancy. So we will use relative clause. So you can see a gym and the gymmed here. These are the same things. So we use relative pronouns which, or you can use that. Do not use who, because the gymmed, this is not a person, so you cannot use who. You can use either which or that, and then you are going to combine the sentence. So the relative clause you will see is like, I go to a gym which creates its own electricity. So this which means a gym. The second example here I share with you is, people often recycle their garbage. They care about the environment. So here you can see, here is the two simple sentences. People often recycle the garbage, the first simple sentence. They care about the environment. So here we know they represent people in the first simple sentence. And we want to put it together, so we use relative clause. We use relative pronoun to combine the sentence. And people, this is a person, so we use pronoun as who. So you can say, people who care about the environment often recycle their garbage. Then we will know, when we read the sentence, we will know the relative clause start from who care about the environment, and the who is relative pronoun to represent people. The second situation in the relative or adjective clauses is use this relative clause as an object. Okay, so the example sentence here I share with you is, humans aren't aware of smells. A dog can recognize smells. So here you are talking about the same object, which is smells. So we want to put these two simple sentences together. We use humans aren't aware of smells. That or which a dog can recognize. So a dog can recognize what? You will know the smell. So you use the relative pronoun which or that to represent smell. Okay, so this is a short review about adjective clause, or we call relative clause. If you do have questions, feel free to ask. Leave your comments or message in the box and I will reply to you as soon as possible. Okay, so the last one we are going to discuss today is the noun clauses. And the noun clauses is a dependent clause that acts as a noun in the sentence. So usually you can see the noun clause begins with the words here, such as let, how, what, whatever, when, where, whether, which, whichever, who, whoever, or and why. Okay. Usually if you see these words in the sentence, and then you can start to consider it might be the noun clause, okay, in the sentence. So the example sentence I give you here is, whoever thought of the idea is a genius. So this is a simple sentence actually. However, in this simple sentence, the writer conducts the noun clause. Whoever thought of the idea. This is the noun clause used as a subject in a simple sentence. The next activity here, I want you to try to identify the noun clause in the following 6 sentences. So you may want to pause the video for about 2-3 minutes and then read each sentence, and then please think about where the noun clause is in these sentences. Okay, welcome back here. So the first sentence we see, the force of our work is how we can satisfy customers most effectively. So here, if you analyze, try to break the sentence, you can see the subject, the force of work, the verb is, and then the object is how we can satisfy customers most effectively. And then you will realize the object in this sentence actually is a noun clause, and it starts with how. The second sentence, choose a gift for whoever you want. Here we omit the subject, we use the verb to start a sentence, choose a gift. And choose a gift what? For whoever you want. So this, we also use the noun clause as an object in the sentence. Sentence number 3, whichever restaurant you pick is fine with me. Again, this is a simple sentence, and then you can see the subject actually is a noun clause, whichever restaurant you pick, and the verb is fine with me. Sentence number 4, do you know what the weather will be? Okay, so do you know, you have the subject, you have the verb, and you know what? This is the noun clause as the object in the question, what the weather will be. The next one, my greatest asset is that I'm a hard worker. So you want to explain your quality, then your greatest quality. So what is this? That means you are a hard worker. So here again, we use the noun clause as an object in the sentence. The last sentence, it is important to think about why we make certain decisions. So in this sentence, you actually can see it is the subject, it is a verb. It's important what to think about something. So to think about why we make certain decision. This is the noun clause as the object for think about. Okay, so the following slides here is your homework assignment, and I would like you try to find the mistakes in the sentences. And here are 8 sentences total, and in each sentence you can find at least 1 mistake, and I would like you to rewrite the sentence and post in the assignment box. And the second part of our homework is circle the correct subordinators, which means when we use the adverb clause, usually we need to distinguish which subordinator we need to use. So read the sentence and then make the best guess if you're not sure the answer, and then try it. We will discuss in the discussion box. The last part of the homework is combine the sentences. Okay, so I give you 2 simple sentences, and then I would like you use relative pronouns to combine the sentence, which means in this complete sentence you are going to have relative clause in the sentence. Okay, so I would like to see your homework in a week, and then if you do have any questions, please feel free to email me, or you can leave the comments, leave your notes in the comment box, and I will reply to you as soon as possible. I will see you next time. Bye.